All right. Now that we've done the setup, we are going to make a very simple beam. Our goal here is to make a cantilever beam and then apply some load and do very basic simulations so you become familiar with basic finite element analysis. But the same principle can be applied to any complex shape. When you know how to do it for a simple beam, you can apply it to any complex shape or geometry. It doesn't matter. All right. So let's get started with making the beam. So let's say this cantilever beam has a cross section, and the cross section, just as an example, let's say a T cross section, I or T cross. Let's just stick with a T cross section. So hopefully you know how to make a 3D model using other software. So that should be easy for you to visualize. You need the cross section T, and then do an extrude to make it. So to do the cross section, we need to sketch the cross section. Here on top here, you see different tools. So the very first one, if you hover your mouse there, it says create sketch. Click on a sketch, and then immediately it asks me on which plane do you want. So at the beginning, only we have the X, Y, Z, the main plane here. So maybe I'll just select that plane there. So I'm on XZ plane. Now a T cross section, so I can maybe do that and just ballpark drawing something approximately to the size that I want. So that's the cross section. As you see, similar to other software, you have different tools here for the drawing circle, square. If I open that sketch panel, create, at the bottom, you see sketch dimension or D. So you can use just the D keyword on your keyboard to simply go to dimension, or just every time click on that. So let's set this one to 100. Let's set this one to 10. Maybe this one I'll do 45. And I set this one to 10. So that should be, okay, I need one more dimension. And that one, let's set it to 100. Right. So if you're following along, you can have the same dimension. You'd better have the same dimension so you can compare your result with me, or you can have a different dimension or different cross section. It doesn't matter. So this is the cross section. Maybe we decide to avoid the stress concentration. So at the corner, we wish to have like fillet. So I click on this fillet, and the radius, maybe I set them to 5. Right? So I have this fillet at the corner there. So that's my cross section. Now that I'm done with the cross section, I click on finish sketch here at the top. When you see it is green there, on the top, I click finish a sketch. So the sketch is being done. You can always come back to this sketch here at the bottom. You see whatever we will draw or model is going to appear here. So right now we just created a sketch. So if I double click on that one, I can come back here and modify something. Maybe changing the size or doing something else. So we are finished with the sketch. Now this is the sketch here, obviously. I'm on 3D view, so I rotate it. Now the second icon next to the sketch on top here is extrude. If I click on extrude, I can select the cross section, and simply I can drag the arrow left or right, doesn't matter, depends on the shape again we are designing. Let's have the length of these cantilever beam to 1 meter or 1000 millimeter. So that's my cantilever beam. So again, with the setup that I have or the preference, you can always change this preference. At the top, go to preference. On general here, if you are comfortable with Fusion, with SolidWorks, you can select SolidWorks. I'm okay with Fusion. I select Fusion. And then okay here. So now I can use scroll up and down to zoom. I can use the middle button to use it as a pan, and I can press Shift on my keyboard and the middle button on mouse to do the rotation. So let's, this cantilever beam, let's say for our design, we also maybe have one slot here, maybe for the design, a particular design. So see what I did here. Let's go back one more. So what I'm going to do, let's just go, oh, too much. All right. So let's say on top of this beam, I wish to have two small slots for maybe wiring or something that I'm designing. So again, I click on a sketch and I click this time on this plane, which is top of this beam. Now this is the plane that I can do my sketch. Let's say that I have maybe a simple slot like that one there. Now perhaps this slot, I can select some dimension for it. Let's say it is only 200. And from the top to the here, let's say I want it right in the middle. So if I select 400, then it is right in the middle. And from here, maybe the width here. Again, I select dimension, unselect here dimension. Let's say this is 20. And from edge here, maybe 15. So it is right in the middle, right? So let's do the math. 15, 20. Yes, it is right in the middle. Because remember, this was 100, so half of it is 50. And it gives me right in the middle now. Okay. So again, to do the dimension, you can go to Create, Sketch, Dimension or Dimension, or just use the letter D on your keyboard, and then it gives you the dimension. If you want to go out of this dimension, you just use Escape button keyboard on your keyboard. Okay, maybe again, to avoid the stress concentration, again, just to practice more, I'll go to a sketch here, and maybe I select arc with 3 points. So I just created like a round corner there. I'll repeat that again for the bottom, for those who miss it. So create arc and 3 points arc. Or there are different ways to do that. And you see this tangent sign appeared here, which obviously we wanted this one to be tangent there. Now I can click that top and delete it. Click that part and delete it. So maybe if I also click dimension and give the radius here, then later if I want to change that, I can do that as well. That's also a good idea to do that. All right. Now let's say this slot, we wish to mirror it. So I need to draw a line right in the middle. So that's the line. Always you can press Enter to get out of a, let's say, a command that you're doing, or Escape to finish that one. So again, similar to other software, we have on the sketch the mirror option. Let's say I want to mirror the whole sketch here. This for selection here, as you see on the left, on the right, sorry, and then the mirror line, select, here is my mirror line. And then I click OK. All right. So we created this sketch, these two slots, and now I click Finish Sketches. All right. Let's rotate it so we have a better view. We see what we got here. This is what we have. If you see different color here for a sketch, because we didn't complete the constraint when we added the dimension. Later, you can do a better job at the dimension. So make sure everything is black, meaning that you have done the dimension correctly. So this is a good point to click Save. So our file will be saved, what we have done We're not going to miss it. So I click save. It's going to take a few seconds. The reason it takes some time because it's again saved the file on cloud, and depends on how busy their server is. It may take a few seconds or a little bit longer, depend on the file, but not very long. All right. Now here I again click on. So as you saw, when I click on save, this beam, now this shape of the beam appeared here on thumbnail on the left panel. Okay, on the left panel. Again, I can always close, and when I need it, I can show the panel again. And so when I close it, I have more room here, of course. Well, we'll click extrude again. We select these two cross section. So these two cross section, as you know, if I go up, I'm going to add something. If I go down, I can cut. Or maybe we want to still add something here on the panel that you have here on the right. So see, here is on cut. You see this drop down menu next to cut here? If I click join, it means I'm adding something which will be joined to this component. If I select new body, it means a new body, which is not going to be joined, it's going to be a new body. But for our scenario, we want to do cut. So we do the cut here. So here, what we got. All right. Let's say again, make it a little bit more interesting. Let's say I want to have some holes here on this side of this T-beam for the design that I'm doing, perhaps. Maybe I need some holes to pass some pipe. So again, I need to sketch whatever I want, the profile that I want. I click on the sketch on this top, create a sketch. I select the plane. This time, the plane is this side over there. All right, let's, for simplicity, we'll just add maybe a circle here and then escape. Then we choose the diameter of this one. Let's just go with 35 or whatever dimension you want. And we click from center to the edge. And let's set this one to 100 or whatever number that you want. And let's say these holes that the pipes are going to pass, we have several of them. I can either create the several circle that I have, but if there is a pattern, then I can go to sketch and I have option for patterns. You see over here, we have mirror, we have circular pattern, and here a linear or rectangular pattern. So I have a rectangular pattern, sorry. So let's say we have maybe 8 of them, and we want this 8 to go over 800. The length of this one was, if you remember, 1000. So if I select 800, so sort of, yeah, we got it right, and okay. And we finish sketching here. Now I'm going to select all these profiles that we just created. And I these two arrow to just do the cut. Or you see here is -100, and then, or here is cut. If again I select join, you see I'm adding something. You can either add to the left, to the right, or turn on these two sides. It means now you have control for two sides. So whatever you want. But in our case, one side, and let's just select cut and done. So always when I click on this right top on this icon here, home, it gives me the home view. You can also click on this corner and drag it left and right and to do the rotation. So here is our beam. Let's say we finish with the model now, and it is ready for simulation. I'm gonna again stop here to make sure if you can follow what we have done so far, or if you have any question, you can ask, and then we'll continue.